On YouTube, it's your boy Cam ATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Thank you guys for joining me for another episode of LPL. Now I am going to go through and talk about what I am liking so far on the slate. Put like about 3 guys that are my core guys to get you started on the right track. As you can see in the description, there will be the Patreon where you can find my projections and stuff like that, and greenlightdfs.com as always for the lines. Thank you guys for joining me. I am going to, you guys know how I like to do it. I like to come in short and sweet, get straight to the point, head on out, and get you started. All right, let's go ahead and look this over. Now, first thing that I want to say is LPL, kind of like most sports, is in the beginning of the seasons is kind of a feel out period. There's a lot of movement that went on throughout the off season. Wink is still with E-Star, but Cryan has been moved off of E-Star, so E-Star no longer has Cryan, which was their best player. They still, in my opinion, I believe last time I checked, LGD was the favorite in that game, and then OMG was a favorite over V5. Now, it might sound crazy, okay, but after seeing how great V5 looked in that last matchup, now I know DMO is not an amazing team or anything, so I shouldn't put too much into it, but OMG also isn't a team to fear. And they didn't really make any moves to improve anything. V5's new team looked really solid. I mean, these dudes were really doing really well. PP God, I believe his name is. A bunch of dudes. Let's look. I'll go through it real quick. So on the V5 squad, the guys who had really good games last game was PP God. He was the support that did really, really well for V5. V5 also had Mole had a really solid game. Wei was solid, or Wee, however you say his name. But I mean, this team in general, okay, looks like they're going to be not. I mean, it was just the first game, so you got to kind of wait and see. But they definitely looked way more aggressive, and like they're going to be a lot better this year than they were last year, obviously, because they didn't win a game last year, and at least this year they've already have a win. So OMG really isn't a team that I fear, and honestly, seeing how good V5 was and seeing V5 is still a big underdog due to how bad they were last year is really solely on the reason I think this is happening right now, the first few games of the year. And hey, I was the same way last game. I was like, look, V5 will not win, but I didn't keep in mind the changes that they made and how these guys might be playing much better than the previous team. So I think V5 is actually going to be pretty damn decent. At least the way they looked in the first game. They could all implode and suck from here on out. Who knows? But like I said, beginning of the season, kind of a feel out. We got to wait and see. But one thing is, LGD, like I said, last time I saw, was favored. They are not a very good team and also didn't make any moves, so they didn't get much better. E-Star was a solid team last year, and I know they lost Cryan. Okay, they did lose Cryan, which was one of their better players, but they were able to add on Fen. They're able to have Fen in, who Fen has had some really solid games throughout his career. Last year he had some really good outputs, and he's a guy that can get you a good amount of kills. All right, he is a dude that actually has solid potential. Last year in 2019, I mean, he had a game against IG where he got 25 kills, 25 assists, and only died 6 times. Okay, so I mean, he is a solid player in general, and I think that he is going to be okay and not make E-Star like crumble all of a sudden now that Cryan's gone. Okay, now Cryan being gone is a big deal, but they're still going to be fine. Anyways, let's get straight into it. Now, with that said, I'm going with E-Star and V5. That is my personal opinion. I like E-Star and V5. As we know, I mean, look, it's the beginning of the year. We still got to feel these teams out and see how they're going to be this year. But as of right now, I think E-Star still has enough firepower to be able to beat LGD, who is a bad team who did not improve. And then we have V5, who just looked really, really good going against an OMG team that is not scary at all and is favored big once again due to V5 being so bad last year. So we might be able to take advantage of that and get V5 at a low ownership again. All right. So starting off my core, I think Wink, he is the best player on this E-Star team. He is going to be needed more. They're going to rely more on him than when he had Cryan. Now they're going to rely a little more on Wink to take that spot and really, you know, go after it. So I think Wink's going to have a huge game here in this one. Support. When it comes to support here, I'm really feeling, I understand Shayu C is always super solid. PP God looked really, really good. And he's 800 less. You might not need that savings. It all depends on how you're building, obviously, because you can only have 4 from one team and 3 from the other. So it all kind of comes down to how you want to build it. Obviously, you can go Victory 5 or E-Star. E-Star does get way more points than Victory 5 on average. How many points did their team get in that win, this last win? I don't see it unless I'm overlooking it, but whatever. Anyways, E-Star is the team play to go with, but E-Star dropping from E-Star to Victory 5 would be where I would change if I need to change anything up in the thing. Now, you're going to have money left over. Taking both of the underdog teams, you're going to have some money left over. Even though E-Star is an expensive team to get exposure to, you're going to have money. So I really like Wink, like I said. Because I like Wink at captain, I love Sam D. He's another guy I want to put in the core. Sam D had an amazing first game with V5. He looked like he's going to play really aggressively. It's a solid matchup. He's only 7K. And obviously, if you're going to want V5 and E-Star, you need to get Sam D, who is the AD carry for V5. And then let's go ahead and talk jungler. I'm going to go with Wei, or Y, however you say his name, Wei. He's just a solid player in general. He is an aggressive player. He just scores a ton. And like I said, some of these E-Star guys outside of Fen, who is immediately taking Cryan's spot, there's other guys that are going to step up as well. Okay, there's going to be other guys that are going to raise the bar a little bit, and I expect him to be one of them. I expect Xiaobai. It's so hard to say these dudes' names. Zobe. I think he's going to be one to step up, but I think that Wei, however you say his name, I'm sorry if I'm butchering it, Wink is my favorite captain play, Wei and Sam D. Those are like my core 3 guys that I want to build around, and then it kind of just depends on how you do it here. Like, I mean, it just depends on build, okay? Personally, the way that E-Star's offense always is, and going against LGD, I kind of feel like E-Star would be the team I would want to go 4 of, and then I'd want to go 3v5. So in that case, it kind of just depends what options you have. Like, if you look at the mids for V5, Mole is a solid mid. He's a solid option, but I mean, and he's, what, 800 less than Fen. So that could be a spot where you get off of E-Star and you don't go an E-Star guy. At top, I do really like Zobe a lot, more than Bu, or however you say his name, at 6'4". So I think maybe that's where you go another E-Star, and then you maybe go the team. I don't know. You're going to have to play with it, see how to do it. Like I said, at support is also a place I'd be willing to get it. If you already have 4 spots that you love with E-Star and you need to change off of an E-Star player, PP God is fine to go from V5 at support. He's a fine player as well. And that's about it, man. That's pretty much it. I mean, right now, before the other league starts and they start combining these things, these slates, making them larger, right now we only have 2 games right now, so there's only certain ways to go, and really you got to get creative here, okay? You got to get creative in the way you build and stuff like that, because, I mean, obviously you could cash in cash games, but a lot of people are going to have the same lineups just there only being so many options. Okay, so I like to get a little fancy with it right now in the beginning of the year, especially, and E-Star and V5 are the 2 teams that I'm really wanting exposure to. Thank you guys for joining me as always. GreenlightDFS.com. Join the squad. Good luck, everybody. I'm out. Peace.